Look what we've got. So we've got the first morels of the season here, and today we're going to be telling you guys how we cook up our morels. Let's get right into it. Alright, so now I'm going to tell you guys what you really need to cook morels. So first of all, we've got a bowl here, and we have these morels soaking in salt water, and we usually like to soak them overnight just to make sure that we try and drown any bugs and kind of get them out. The salt water kind of drives them out. And then we're also going to need like a Tupperware container or a Ziploc bag and a big spoon for putting in our flour, which is another thing we're going to need. And then we're also just going to need basic salt and pepper. You're going to need kind of like a medium saucepan, I guess, or a large. You can even use a cast iron skillet for this if you need it, if you've got a big batch of morels. Then we've also got a knife for cutting the morels up. We've got a fork for turning our morels, and then we've also got a bunch of butter over here, and that's what we're going to be frying them in. We've also got a cutting board for when we're going to be cutting the morels. So the first step here is we're going to look at our morels, and if you find any that have little places, sometimes like animals try and eat the tips off, so you're going to want to cut the tip off then. And if the stem doesn't look good or if it's too long, you're just going to kind of try and remove any imperfections from that. It'll just make it a lot easier to cook, and then these guys you can kind of just set aside, and you will just want to continue dressing all of your mushrooms. And then the next step, once you've got all your mushrooms dressed, is you're going to cut them in half, just straight down the middle, and then you're going to look inside, and then if you see any bugs or anything like that, be sure to remove the bugs. And also, if they aren't hollow inside, that means they're not a morel, so don't eat those. So then the next step is we're just going to take these all over, and we're going to put them in the sink, and we're going to wash just going to kind of wash these cavities out, because sometimes the salt water doesn't get in there if the stem's really thick or something. So we're just going to wash the morels really, really good, make sure they're all nice and clean, and make sure that they're all morels. Alright guys, so now we have our morels. All of our morels, we've got them cut in half here, and they're all nice and clean, and now we're ready for the next step. And that's going to be make our little frying mixture, if you will. Say 2 heaping spoonfuls here, because we don't really have that many morels. You can adjust this based on how many mushrooms you have. Let's go with 2.5. That's good. Alright, now I'm just going to get that kind of scattered all around in the bowl. And then we're going to just take some basic salt. A little salt in there. We're getting some salt. And then just a little pepper. Alright, now we're just going to get this mixed up here. Our next step is we're going to get our pan ready. So like I said, we've just kind of got this medium pan here. We're going to turn it on. Let's go a little bit more than medium. And we're going to come over here, we're going to get us a big old hunk of butter, and then we'll let that warm up. And while we're letting that warm up, we've got our morels here, and we're just going to take a handful of them. Alright, now we got a good amount of morels in there. We're just going to put the lid on and give it a shake. Alright, now we're going to go on a little treasure hunt through here. Grab our morels, that nice big one there, and we're just going to set them in the pan. Alright, so now we've got our morels in here, and they've been cooking for a little while, and you can kind of tell whenever they're done, because if you just kind of lift them up, they look nice and brown on the side. Try and make sure they don't get too crispy. We might have overdone this batch just a teeny bit. But then this is where your fork comes in. You're just going to take your fork and just flip these guys over. Alright guys, so we've got our morels here, we got them all done. They're looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at these. So I'm going to give you guys a little taste test, and we'll see how they taste. So I've got kind of a little medium one here. Fresh out of the pan. That is perfect. Let's get the one that's a little bit more done. Ooh, this one looks good. So if you don't do them as much, you can kind of taste the flesh of the mushroom a little bit more. But they're a little bit more fried, which I kind of like. That's really good. That's really good. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. The only problem is there isn't any more. Alright guys, that's how to make morels. I'm going to sit here and absolutely devour this plate of morels because they're so good. But please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.